Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
This whole thing. So that's.
Ready?
And I'll do the clock one.
There you go.
Bring the meeting to order. All right, say pledge.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Sokoviak,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yeah. Motion to accept the February 17th of 2022 board meeting and finance committee report.
Second.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Sokoviak,
Yes.
trustee Weir. No, move on from that.
Okay. Richard.
Dan.
Dan, sorry. I knew you didn't have a beard.
I'll do mine and then.
Yeah, that's fine.
There was two fires. We had a vehicle fire, 18 medical assist, hazardous condition 1, flammable spills 1, good intent 1, legal burn 1, and canceled en route 4 times for a total of 31 runs. The new extrication equipment came in, we trained on it and have already used it on an accident.
Good deal.
Works very well.
Good deal to use it on an accident, but it was. Anybody have any questions for Dan?
Dan
Yep.
Department.
Dan, man.
That's the wrong one. That's starting
I
again.
just read that. We had a total of 42 calls for the month. We had 15 in Tilton, for Tilton during the daytime. We dropped 13 during the daytime. We had 11 calls for Tilton at nighttime. We dropped 10 of those calls. We had 4 for Oakwood. We had mutual aid requests other than Oakwood. We had 7 of them. And we responded to those 7. We dropped none for Oakwood. We were busy on 2 calls when we had the call come in, and we couldn't respond to those 2 anyways. And we had 1 that goes to Oakwood that was disregarded. That's a total of 7 transfers. And not looking to purchase anything at this time. I don't have any other news for you other than, as always, we need EMTs. Any questions for me?
Glad you said that. I don't have to say it. All right, TJ.
Routine maintenance, buildings, restrooms, maintenance on the vehicles and equipment. We have been patching holes through the town. Between last month, this month, we've had 3 more snow events. We did get all the winter decorations cleaned off the graves at the cemetery. We have been and did already repaired and replaced multiple and damaged signs throughout the town. And we've began removing some of the plows and stuff off the trucks, get them ready for spring weather and jobs. Sewer department had a couple resident call-ins. Checked them, ran the lines, no problems were found. We've been starting to work on some catch basin issues that we had, vacuuming them and running them out. 18 Julies, 2 after-hour call-outs for snow, then 2 snow events, and then we had 5 work orders. And I have a couple things to talk about. So me and Chief Bernardi have talked and came up with a proposal for the Public Works to buy his squad for $40,000. And then I also included a quote to upfit it for the Public Works side. In the paper that you guys got, he gave a couple reasons why he would want to get rid of the truck and go to an SUV. So basically, I'd be purchasing the truck and then he would purchase an SUV. Phil, if you want to chime in on the reasons why you would.
Yeah, basically, when we got the truck originally, that was the mayor's intent, is if Public Works ever needed them, we could always transfer them over. But after using them on day shift, the turnaround radius is hard to do in traffic, to make traffic stops. And with the light back in still, even when you're in a hurry, sometimes around corners, it's just, you can break the tires loose a little easy. It'd just be better to be in a SUV if at all possible.
So basically, this is per dollar.
Basically, yes.
And just so everybody knows, your truck's only got, what, 10,000 on
11, just turned 11,000 miles today.
it? And so it's still under warranty and all that.
Yes, 2 more years.
I'll make the motion.
We gotta do 3 of them if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, technically.
Refit swamp truck and Explorer refit squad car for 11,856. The new squad's 37,265 and the swamp for the pickup is $2,707.
Basically, everything police-wise will come out of the truck and be utilized in the new vehicle. The light bar will stay on and can be transferred over to public work lights, and the police taking the pattern out there so it can be utilized for public works.
Let's go make the motion.
Second.
All 3.
Yeah.
Trustee Barrett,
No,
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Wescoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes.
And then the other thing, we've been talking about updating the camera system throughout the village on all the buildings and getting a uniform system and one that will work a lot better than what we have going on now. We got a quote through BNS Security Consultant for $24,880.
Under police, huh?
Oh, I know.
He would offer a year of free or a year of warranty,
3-year warranty.
3-year warranty, I'm sorry, 3-year warranty on all the products. He would come out for the first year at no charge for any technical issues. This would also add cameras to all our parks that we don't have, the lake, and all the buildings, the village buildings.
Adding at the park, right?
For adding Thomas Park would be added on there.
Adding,
The ballpark would then have a camera system. The lake would have a better camera system.
we have one here, adding 3 on the outside, adding 4.
The community center would also have a camera system, which it has one, but it don't work. It's some outdated camera, so.
And 4 cameras inside the ambulance station and 2 more on the outside.
Correct.
And it includes the software.
Yes.
Yes, there's no reoccurring
Charge on it.
charge for the software.
Now, another question I got, we got a computer system to handle
It will,
I don't know.
it will, what do you mean?
it.
He said-
It's gonna, I mean, this, way I understood what part of, I read real quick was that it's gonna be able to record and save information. So if some building got broke into.
Each location will have a DVR, which will be stored on that too. And then the software can be accessed from any computer we choose to put it on. So if we lose power internet at one building for some reason, the others will still be standalone systems. So they all will still record on their own. It's a building a DVR.
But you lose one at that location.
Right.
If something was to happen, internet went out, power went out,
One location.
one location.
All those locations minus the parks have generators.
Yeah.
And so,
Now, if we have a major internet failure, of course, I mean,
That's a different.
but the cameras will still record
local
to the DVR.
So it's still recorded local.
But also.
As long as you got electricity, I reckon.
Well, also these girls sitting here with computers can review the park, look at any park anytime they want.
Yeah, we can bring it up on our computer and have it,
Look at the park.
kind of like we do in there.
Well, I'm curious about whether or not the police department can bring it up on their
Yeah.
computers.
Yes, it can be,
Yeah, we'll be able to do
it can be put on any-
laptops or phones
Yeah.
even.
Which storage in the DVR.
That's a good deal.
Were they 1 terabytes?
8 terabyte on one,
the bigger ones have bigger terabytes. They may all be 8 terabytes.
some of them are 6. but
Was they?
Yeah. That's still a lot.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you one more question. Your bid is gonna be a security system that's gonna be ran on a personal DVR on each one of them. How long do you gotta keep that information? Do you have to download it in somewhere to store it? Or can you just clear it out and then start all over again?
Once it reaches its max, if it ever hit full memory, it will just roll over on itself.
Well, what I'm thinking is in case something came up, you would probably have to be able to make sure you can download the situation.
I have
Oh.
a similar system at home. I'm only running 4 cameras though on my 1 terabyte. I get just over 30 days. So if I don't have anything in 30 days, it rolls right over.
But
So I think that's
But
about
you-
where it would be.
He could take a flash drive and plug it in and download what he. okay,
Yeah.
Yes,
We have
or-
30 days to go do that before.
or burn it to a CD if need be, however. Yes.
I'll make a motion to purchase that camera system.
I'll second it.
The name of the damn parks. I don't care about the building, but I'm worried about the park getting tore up all the time.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
The lake doing them
Trustee Mitchell.
wheelies and all that.
trustee
Yes.
Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Westcoviac.
Yes.
Trustee Weir.
Yeah. Well, so if there's a terrible park kitchen.
That's all I have.
You've got
You have your evidence right there.
Gas tax.
He bringing up
Yeah.
about the,
You can bring up the gas tax, but you can't vote on it until next month. It's a discussion. It's not on the
I'm
agenda.
probably supposed to write something up for him to say.
Well, it's on it. It's out there on the agenda.
It's, yeah, it's there, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too early now.
That was a ghost writing.
Yeah.
But you can
I thought it
discuss it anyway. I don't know. See how everybody feels. You can bring it up or just.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up.
Take no motion on it.
We just can't motion on it, which is fine. 'cause
when
we
you
have-
go to the thing, I'll bring it up.
Oh, okay. Don't let me forget. That's what I forgot.
That was all with the truck.
So then I think we're on the.
Phil. All right, Phil, you're up.
I'm
Don't
up.
worry about the squad car. You're right, take care of that.
Okay, squad car, that's taken care of with the outfit as well.
Stop signs of Washington.
Yeah, let me give my monthly thing. We slowed down a little bit because of the weather events. We had 273 calls for the month of February, 13 arrests and 22 PNTs during that time, along with 68 citations and 28 warnings. It's been brought up to our attention recently, an ongoing problem with speeding on Washington Street. 1700 block all the way down to Ross Lane. So the talk has been to put in stop signs at the intersections of Washington and Grant, Washington and Moore, to try and slow the traffic down. And
Crestwood and Myers.
Crestwood,
Crestwood and Myers too.
do Crestwood and Myers as well.
Not that fine.
I can verify one thing. I know you want to slow the traffic down, but I'm not going to talk to the people there because nobody's got a quiet month.
I know.
And motorcycle go on, and anybody sits up there on Fifth Street, that's stop light, and you hear them breaking. Stop.
Boy, I mean, they're booking on Myers motorcycle.
I'm worried about more pedestrians. Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't no sidewalks.
Sidewalks and then they walk down.
I'm saying though.
We can always remove, we can try it,
Yeah.
you know.
Do we need a motion to do that?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we install the new stop signs at Washington and Grant. What was the other place?
Moore and Grant,
Washington and Moore
Moore, yeah.
Myers.
and Crestwood.
Crestwood and Meyer.
I second.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Westcoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yeah. Unless somebody's here. Oh, sure, there's always law.
Okay.
There is.
There is an ordinance on it.
Yeah, I bet they're all in.
There's a P&T on
There's another camera system to bring up to, for discussion.
License plate readers.
It's the flock safety system license plate readers for the village, which allows the police department to be notified if any stolen vehicles. It keeps track of all the cars coming in and out of town wherever you place the cameras. I believe we've attached a bid for about half of what they recommended, which would be 8 permanent mounted cameras and 2 portable cameras that we could move to areas where we'd be having problems, say drug house, suspected drug dealing, or things we could see who's coming and going. The system also works in conjunction with the city of Danville, Champaign County. Anybody that's on this system in the area, we can access what's going on there, see where vehicles are coming and going from.
They use the same company or something?
Yes, as long as you're on the flock system, the ones I just mentioned, Rantoul, Champaign County, Champaign, Danville, I think Georgetown's looking at them now too. West Lafayette, all the general area, you can access that information, which allows you to pick cars. If you're looking for a suspect vehicle, you don't even need a plate number. You can say, hey, it left down this way, punch in the description. It'll show you every car in the last 30 days, matching that description that went through it.
You could essentially track, so if they left on 74 and went to Champaign County, you could probably pick them up over there.
Yeah, exactly. And if we had certain people we were looking for, every day it's updated with the state for any stolen vehicles.
We do it for people too, like if it picks a person up.
No, not the people. It's just on the vehicles and registrations. And then we can set our officers, we have our known problems. We can put their license plates in there. And anytime they come in town, it'll notify us on our computers or our phones where they're at.
Especially like got a drug house with a lot of problems.
Right, especially if we had a particular plate, it would show us what was coming, or we can look back and see who's coming and going through a 30-day period.
Or if you had like theft or something, you had a plate number, and if they decided to come back at 3 a.m., they would notify you, hey, this camera just picked this plate up.
Exactly, we could find the plate number, put it in there, and it would notify us anytime it came back in town where you could stop it.
Well, the other thing we want to use it for is at 2 o'clock in the morning, sun goes down, there's not a lot of traffic. These guys just sit there and figure out what way they left.
That was true because.
So it has its benefits, and I don't think it would be a bad thing, and starting half of what they recommended. It's still a pricey thing, there's a recurring fee every year for it.
So is that full maintenance on them? Is that recurring fee? If something.
Yeah, they had a one-time installation fee for each camera, which is like $250. As long as it's not on an IDOT road, then it's $750 because you got to get permits. But, and then you're paying a $25 or $2,500 initial fee for their software. And then after that, the price that's attached with you, the first round for the first year is $31,300.
Yeah, the 28.5.
25.8 or 28.5 would be the recurring cost every year thereafter.
But I say if something goes berserk on them,
They'll come and fix it.
they fix it, no cost to the village.
That's correct. And they'll update the software and everything with it throughout.
So,
I'll be honest with you, I'm more excited about the portable. The 2 portables. Because that way, if you have a block problem area, you can actually lock it in for them to lock. And you can see all the traffic goes up and down that block.
what about, do we have to pay for upgraded cameras? Say 5 years comes and these cameras are outdated, is
That
that?
is a question I don't have an answer for right now. That's something I can check on.
I mean, it's no doubt that they're gonna go outdated every technology. I don't have a problem paying for that, but I'm sure there's a cost. I'm sure you can buy the camera.
Oh,
But I'm sure there is too, but what it would be, I'm not sure right now. I can check into
I didn't know
that.
if it was at a discounted rate if we were continuing the contract with them.
No, they're not. It's just pretty standard. This is what we're charging and this is what it's gonna take. So.
It's not a bad price. Especially if you get access to all the other minutes.
And then if we decided to do it once they started, they don't charge us until the system's complete, up and running.
Now, you have the ability to add cameras if you decided at a later date that you needed to add another camera somewhere.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
See, the original quote that came out was for 18 and 2.
Yes. A total of
But then
20
the
cameras.
expense was so extreme and everybody wasn't sure how it was gonna work out, it got dropped down to 8 and 2.
Well, I think it's a good cost to see how it works. And,
But yeah, they could add on to it.
Their original suggestion was the 18 plus the 2 mobiles we wanted. that would cover basically the way they looked at it. No one would get in and or out of town without us
No,
having a record of it.
so these 8 that you have that are stationary, you have those on like in and out roads or?
Exactly, yes.
But then also we're gonna do now, Phil's probably gonna get a hold of the guy and say, okay, we're down to 8. Here, where do we?
What gives us the best coverage?
Yeah, upwards and then expand the system.
Where you want to place the 8?
Or they're gonna talk to software.
Well, talk with them and see, I mean, we're talking areas like, maybe Ross Lane.
Yeah,
Tilton Road.
Ramp Road or something where the traffic
Right,
lights are.
Ramp Roads and one on each side over there.
You're gonna get it equipped though too, because it's one in, one out.
Right, but that's why I say I'm leaving it to them to
Right.
give me the best.
Takes 2 at every intersection.
One in, one out.
Because it only reads the back of cars.
Oh, just the back?
Right.
Well, in,
Because, Indiana's a one plate state.
Yeah.
You have many of them that are just one plate, so that's what it reads is the rear. So sometimes you have to have 2 cameras to handle one section of road coming and going.
but you'll have 2 portable ones.
Yes, we'll have 2 portable.
You got a drug place.
Now whether we can sit there and they can keep track of who comes and goes, and they can turn that over to May can run that place, figure out who it is.
Yep.
So it becomes a big deterrent.
Yeah, I think
Do they have to be?
probably get more use out of them than we will.
Public or village property?
Yeah, they gotta be on the right way because they gotta be close to.
Right.
Well, no, I mean, like, if you had, say, a house and you were trying to, if you're down here, the car would go by. You're wanting to see if it pulled into a specific, where not if someone,
You know,
So you're gonna have more flexibility with the portable one.
right, that's on that portable one, where if you, that neighbor, because I know there's a house, a couple of houses down from me that have been a problem, it's one that's,
when the city owns.
yeah. We own, but I still see.
Well, the thing of it is, you know, I have one, no, control that block with the
Yeah.
camera. You don't want to put it in someone's property, because then they become liable for it.
That's what I meant, where they ended up mounting ones, because they were trying to see what was going on with this house. If it ended up being on personal property, would that have any kind of problem for you?
I would probably rather say that we need to keep it on any of the light poles, like the hammer poles or however it plays there instead of on.
I would have probably said,
Well, these cameras not for the purpose of basically spying on a house.
no, I know,
They're to pick up car traffic in an area.
They're license plate readers.
yeah,
That's all they
Can you
do.
pick up speeders too, though, like if somebody calls and says, okay.
It can be a huge asset for the department or the village though, in aspects of property crimes, harassment issues where violation of order protection, and all kind of different things can be utilized. We had a automobile theft from Toyota recently, and we had to utilize the Southgate camera to be able to detect which way it went. So we did use that, but if we had one of these cameras in place, we could have followed it further.
And if you had a hit and run, like at Toyota, you could put in the.
It probably didn't have any license on it anyway.
It did, but you know what? It doesn't have to have that because it actually can detect that it was a white in color Ford pickup truck traveling northbound.
Would have picked that up as
It
well.
knows that. It's that smart.
When I went to Danville and looked at it, they
I was gonna say, it ain't no
Lights
license
rated.
so well.
Dodge truck and they went to the camera on my street and it literally pulled up nothing but gray Dodge Ram trucks.
Really?
Well, the nice part about it is what started this whole conversation, one of the main things was we had that shooting. And nobody knew which way the car went. But it was at a problem house, so we would have had the portable set up when that took place. They'd have it all on tape.
Yeah, no, I think they'd be worthwhile.
So what if somebody calls and complains about the same car speeding by their house all the time? Because I've got about 4 of them.
In the same token, we can take those portable ones, put them down there. You give us a description. By watching that over a few days,
That's what
we
I'm
can get a
saying.
plate number and we can address,
City car down there.
What? if nothing else, we can start by talking to those people
Thing of it
and
is,
addressing it that way. And if nothing else, we know what to look for and when to look at it.
it doesn't track.
What are they on, Phil? Just a stand or something?
Yeah, signpost.
They have their own,
Signpost.
A signpost. You got the portable ones?
no, they have a permanent post they'll put in for the permanent ones.
Yeah, I know, but I mean the portable ones.
Portable ones, that's gonna be up to us to either use street signs to hook them onto or telephone poles.
Okay. I was wondering if there's something that could be knocked over or.
No, I mean, we'd probably,
Huh?
I'd recommend power poles or something like that in the area you want it to be in. Something
Yeah, they'll think they're getting
people couldn't just,
radar
Who
on
installed,
them
do
too.
we install them? Like the temporary ones?
temporary ones would be for us to move around as we need. Because they actually, they're not solar powered or anything. We'd have to pull them off, bring them in here,
Charge them up.
charge them up. I think they said they're good for roughly everything being good weather-wise, maybe about 30,000 pictures before they have to be recharged.
That's quite a few.
That is quite a few. So to me, that'd be probably at least a month or so.
Route one, there's like 29,000 a day on Route one, so.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be using.
You wouldn't be using them there anyway in town. Second, oh, okay.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Koviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yeah.
Tiffany Jones.
Oh,
Jones.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been working on the budget. Give the budget numbers
Just let everybody-
to the appropriate.
You got, go ahead. Now you're ready.
Okay, so what I've done is, started on the budget for the next year. I've given each department based on a percent of how much they spent last year. A percent of what I think the income's gonna be. And I've given that to the department heads. Scott, you don't have one, but you and Ryan are gonna have to get together and meet.
Yeah.
With TJ.
Yep.
Virgil and me are gonna meet. Bob is gonna meet with Butch and Richard, and Billy already met with Bill. So we just have to fill in the zeros, because there are some things that are set. So you guys have any questions about what was like a certain line item that is on there and what it actually meant or what was spent? I can pull that up.
So we
Okay.
can,
Thank you.
then we can discuss that, but we can take no action. So they know we're headed out the bid. Committee reports? No? Public, Joe?
Yes, I was just gonna update you on what I've been up to. I did get the proposal for the 22-23 season MS4. Yeah. And, I had the public meeting last month. After the meeting, there was a combined meeting and Belinda was there and she and me talked about the Norfolk Southern Railroad drainage down there and I forwarded the information that we had on that side. There was another lady that Kathy Moore on Delta that you talked to briefly about hers. And I spoke with you, Mayor, about that this week. I just put together a proposal to survey that area down in there. And so there's a proposal for that, but she's concerned about the drainage. And then we talked about where the storm sewers are and how that would drain. I've been looking at that Washington Street Bridge and also down there on Kagan Street Bridge, there's almost a restriction at Kagan Street, but there's the sanitary manhole just downstream of it. And so there's about 9 cubic yards of buildup there on that riprap upstream of the bridge on Washington Street.
That same place, Joe?
Yeah, there's about 9 cubic yards. I sort of measured it up this week. And in addition to that, I've been looking at the testing procedures putting together testing procedures in case a new permit comes out and they require it. I don't know if they do yet, but we did say in the notice of intent, we're gonna look at the guidances and start looking at where we would test. I've sort of adopted the industrial standards with the US EPA and printed it out, and read through it, they've got good ideas in there. And I'm starting a document here of where might be a good idea to do some testing. That material there on Washington Street, I would recommend maybe testing it for the lead, arsenic, and zinc because of that Superfund site upstream of it. And just, kind of we did that last time with Danville Township. And so I'm working on looking through that type of information. You had the ordinances online, so I printed them. I've been going through those and looking at those in regard to how they affect erosion control and the rest of them. There's only one little spot where maybe adding the green infrastructure definition is the one thing with that one page if you're ever revising these. And then I gave Mike a copy of the total that we had for Walnut cottages there. And here's a copy for you of that, an updated copy. This is down there. The village did a bunch of demo work down there, but we never updated the topo after they did the demo. It'd be good to do that. And then him and Belinda's site, we did the 8th Street vacation and we did some concepts down there for drainage. So these ordinances and things, I just gave them a copy and I'm giving you a copy of these two. Also, we have the park down here and this is the deactivated site plan from the county. Do you know when the county deeded this over to the village, that was partitioned off by a surveyor over there? Do you guys have a copy of the plat? This is the deactivated treatment plant out by Summer Cemetery.
Yeah, we got a plat for that.
The EPA, yeah, so I know where the property lines are. So
I
I,
can give that. We got a
yeah,
plat.
so I've got a map of this and we want to think about those buried depths on that. If that becomes Summer Cemetery, making a map of how you left your gravesite. And
Cool.
so I know you've been filling that in, but there's a bunch of concrete structures and things out there. Well, we shot those in originally. If they're buried, well, it might be a good idea to find those at some point in time. EPA wanted us to demo that down. So when they deeded the land over, that partitioned off that land, it would be good to maybe calibrate that into those maps and then, decide on a final plan for that site and then we have to map the cemetery.
Ted Harkey draw that plat for us.
Yeah, okay, all right. And then, so yeah, taking into consideration these ordinances, I was recommending for that and the park and the fire station, 8th Street vacation, Walnut Street, 8th Street, as we put our pencils on these, if there's variances that need to be done, we'll bring those forward. And if they're reasonable, then there should be a process for that, for the variances. As far as, there's an April 9th cleanup. I don't know if I've mentioned to you previously, I've been having trouble finding a place to take antifreeze, but it's over at the State Farm Center. And it's for hazardous waste. This isn't electric. It's for like oil-based paints, paint thinners, herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, oil, gasoline, kerosene, cleaning products, mercury, household batteries, used motor oil, drain cleaners, acid, corrosives, lawn chemicals, solvents, antifreeze, pool chemicals, hobby chemicals, aerosol, paint and pesticides, fluorescent lights. And so what you do is you get registered for a 15-minute time to drop your things off. There's a web link. I don't know if anybody has any that they need to get rid of, but other places within the state can bring it. I called and asked. Does anybody interested in need to get rid of stuff or what?
Yeah, Joe, can you give that to Ryan so we can put it on our webpage?
Yeah. So that might be a good one to think about. And the training videos, TJ gave me a copy of who did the training videos with Public Works. Did the aldermen, the trustees, did you get the videos emailed to you? And then did for the training a couple of months ago, me and Tiffany, you did get them?
Yeah, I got it, but someone else gave us training was mandatory.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to kind of getting, now that I'm looking to move forward with getting the report together, which this is how that thing, it got bigger every year is what the EPA thought it should do, and it is, and I don't have all the forms in here, but I want to get you guys included if you did in fact take it. Should we get a hand count, or should I give you the sheets to fill out the form, or, I don't know if anybody looked at it or not, as the trustees, we tried to email it over. Because I want to put in the report approximately how many people actually viewed the training videos.
Haven't had a chance to go.
I have. So turn off the open meetings.
No, he's talking about something totally
This
different.
was stormwater training videos.
That's 40 minutes.
Look at the thing you was talking about, open meetings.
I don't even know what that got.
Well, I did get the ones from the, those folks, the Public Works, so I can include those.
We all had a meeting on that.
And the salt quantities.
Hey, Joe, this guy was the same one I took.
Ask him to.
When the person came in, talked about all that other stuff.
It's a lot of, there's probably some similar information, but I try to get some updated videos and there's some newer ones in there. There was a couple of them that were geared towards elected officials and how the MS4 affects your communities, and some ideas on there that I thought would have been good for the elected officials this year. There was the first video on there. And so those would be good. They went out in an email format, but I don't know. If you,
I just show it there.
yeah.
So it doesn't sound like everybody got it, so.
Right.
Resend it again.
Okay.
If you want to send it to me, I'll get it to the correct emails.
Okay, I'll go back to that original one and forward that to you then. And then the salt quantities, TJ, I ran your numbers. I gave it to the mayor last time. You guys are averaging about 7.2 tons of salt per lane mile. And if you have 54 lane miles, that's about you average about $685 per lane mile. So with salt, so that would average down over that nearly 10-year period.
That's why our streets are burned off.
Right, so when you build more streets, well, I mean.
Well, no,
capital
I'm saying,
that per year.
the main line, that's why the streets are burned off.
Yeah, right, and it varies on the rates and so then the website, so we would get you on a couple of those updates on there. And so am I approved to go ahead and get this report together to get this to the EPA by June 1st then, Mayor?
Yes. Yeah.
That proposal. is approved?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for me? Thank you.
That's not his.
If you use more salt, we won't have roots in the surf.
I tried.
Yes, somewhere. Hold on.
Do we need to make that motion?
Hold on. Hold on.
Huh? We need,
Hold on. I looked something up.
Township let about that much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's in.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, 20.
At least 2 or 3 truck lengths, it's,
Yeah, you need to make the motion.
yeah.
I'll make the motion that we give the, for Joe.
Is it mixed with sand?
Yeah, to be submitted by.
Because they're gonna set down Greenwood, that one.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley, trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets,
yes,
trustee Kubiak,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Joe, we'll put Delwood's next month.
Exactly.
Delwood Street, we'll put on next month's
Oh, okay, thank you, sir.
Somewhat.
survey on Delwood Street for drainage. Delwood, Crestwood Streets.
Huh?
Surveying, to authorize Joe to do surveying on Delwood and Crestwood and for drainage.
oh,
But we're gonna do that next month. He's got a
Okay.
proposal, it's not on the
Okay.
agenda, so I can do it.
Hold on.
excuse
Do
me.
it right now, so I don't forget.
Okey dokey smoky.
Survey, Delwood.
Yeah. Crestwood, Delwood. I think Brentwood too, right?
Excuse me. Yeah, Delwood,
Survey in Delwood and
Yeah,
yes,
Crestwood.
Delwood and Brentwood between
Yeah, Crestwood.
Florence and 16th, or what is that street? that-
Yeah, Florence and Melrose.
Melrose, that's it.
That's bad. Water stands there.
Yes, it is.
that's right there by my house.
Right, right in front of Butch's house.
My house too.
No, you don't live there no more.
Yeah, you're up here anyway.
Just Butch.
Butch's house. Or his motor home, Butch's house.
There you go.
What I thought.
Yeah, you wanna do the firefighter thing, do all the rest. Oh,
So
okay.
the only-
So let's just comply to the act.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
gotcha.
we need a motion for firefighter pay to the minimum wage act.
Oh, so, yeah.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Kubiak,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Chad Kessler and Tim McFadden. Tim's gonna be training Chad Kessler to operate our sewer plant here in the future. So when the new plant gets online, and Chad's gonna be a licensed operator for the plant. So Tim's gonna be instructing him in the Catlin plant. And then Chad's gonna be reviewing all the
Tim
construction in this project here too.
Not that Tim McFadden.
No, that's different.
I
Not
was gonna say, that's a surprise to
Tim's
me.
getting ready to retire.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we questioned it twice.
And then I saw him, I was like,
Can't be.
So we need a motion to hire Chad.
I'll
Kessler.
make it. I'll make a
Yeah,
motion.
the Catlin plant's the same as ours. Perrin Graham designed basically. the same.
Activated sludge.
Yes, but our plant's bigger.
Oh,
And they also have their own lab,
Yeah.
so when our lab gets up,
that's Butch.
Tiffany's gonna go out there and they're gonna show
No, the clerk.
the clerk.
No, Tiffany, no pass.
Yeah, gas.
Cost training.
No, you're not, but they're gonna show how to handle the paperwork.
Right.
To get it
Oh,
Send it to
submitted.
EPA.
Yeah. And that's a problem because the lady does it out there part-time.
Right.
At Catlin.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Let me get out.
So I need most hire Chad and Tim to
That's all we
to be
make
the
one.
instructor.
Virgil made the
Virgil
motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Koviak,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes. Well, what, that's, what we supposed to be,
Yeah, we gotta make an intergraph agreement too with them.
well, that'll be part of the agreement
Yes,
about
yeah.
paying her.
Yes. Yeah, because he can't do it because he don't have time to do it.
Right.
Anybody else in the public have anything before I go on? Okay, we've had one bidder for Mikeson Street property.
One of them, just one of them,
With just one lot?
yes,
Okay.
with the check.
Oh, well, that's good. Cash.
A lot for granted, didn't it?
How they looking at?
I think,
Huh?
I think it's Janice Tender's son, isn't it?
No.
No, this guy's out of
Yeah,
Yeah.
Delaware.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's her other son,
Okay.
or it might be, Lydia lives on 4th Street.
Which lot is that?
1527.
I'm just curious, is that check what?
No, $3,475.
That's above the minimum price, maybe that's. We need most to sell a lot. Then.
I'll make a motion. One less we gotta mow.
There you go.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell, trustee Sheets.
Yep.
Trustee Koviak,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
It might be Janice Wheeler's son.
That's who it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell them about that Earthrise is taking over.
Yeah, Earthrise is taking over the Tilton Energy plant. And they're basically, they're taking the plant over and then they're accepting our agreements in the past to pursue use.
For sewer?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Then we get a little bit of money off of them.
The water company bills them.
Yeah.
Out of sight?
I mean, we're getting what we should be getting, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's $200 a month contract. Remember
and a lot of companies billing them, so.
that we had that meter you guys paid for years
Oh,
ago
yeah,
and they never tripped the meter.
Yeah.
But it just lets you know Earthrise took them over. This is like the fourth people that own this place. So, and they're also interested in solar energy. So they may be putting a couple solar farms out behind the school.
Yeah.
Do them separate.
Mhm.
Do them
Oh.
separate.
They could hook into that some way. It ought to save us some money.
Yes, I agree. Okay, Wagner Lock and Key, electronic door openers, 4 monitor phones for the office, 11,881. Expensive.
So more at that time.
There's two.
Two of them, there's different.
What are they gonna do here with the locks?
That's here. So the phone system where they can buzz
Like
and we
we
can let
had
them in.
before and they can't. Just-
I've seen one.
Plus buzz outside door. They won't be able to get in the building unless
You
one's
just
real
push a button
safe.
and let 'em in.
Yes, yes.
There's another one under.
The one on the back
Policeman's
door is
still
gonna
good.
stay the same?
Yes,
Combination.
yes, the buzz cops, yes.
That's totally
Yep.
different.
Yep.
$21,000.
No, 11.
No, that's a different.
That's 11.
You're like.
You're on the second line.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the wrong line there.
11,881.
Guess we probably should have done the 21 first.
Need a motion to do for what, Wagner Lock,
Or 11,881.
11,881.
I'll make a motion. We need to update it around.
Yes.
Second.
I got Scotty second.
Huh?
I got Scotty second.
Oh.
That was Bob.
And Bob?
Down here, go back.
Must have whispered.
It wasn't Billy, so.
Must have whispered.
I made it, he said.
Fine.
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell.
Yes.
Trustee,
Jeez.
Sheets,
Yeah.
trustee Koviak,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean we'll have to get cameras now at work?
Huh?
Does that mean we'll have cameras at work?
Yeah. Two different systems.
Well, then we can all see who's coming and going and
Yeah, that's gonna be the outside door. They have to buzz them in the building to let them in the building.
We don't have
So
crackheads coming
that's
in,
right.
driving across the median.
Run into the building.
One time.
Scarred for life.
It does.
Also Wagner Lock and Key for fobs for the entry system for all the village buildings. 218800. Instead of having push code, they have a fob. Instead of them number doors like we use right now. So,
Do like a little key fob.
yes.
Mhm.
You're gonna have a fob for every building in town, different fob, different
Yeah,
building?
yeah.
Whatever.
No, one fob for everything.
Like that.
Oh, one, like a master.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna
And
say,
yours-
you'd have a pocket full of them.
And you'd be programmed for the buildings that you have access.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it includes all the doors too, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, because some of those, are- they're all, let's be,
Wherever you have permission entrance, you'll have fob too.
Okay,
So we'll have them all.
Even community center.
let me just tell you guys one issue that we've been having with the community center especially.
How you gonna do?
We
the
rent that
business?
out. We rent that out, you know, and people don't bring us their keys back, and their checks are dated like 8 months ago. We can't cash them. We can't get the key back. This way we can deactivate it, and what we're gonna start doing is cashing their checks in the beginning and then giving them refunds later. And if they don't bring us the fob back, we'll deactivate it, we'll keep the money.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, that's one.
And the thing is the key to the community center is
Oh, I'm sure.
somebody can go and get a copy made.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of them out there.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
So over at Public Works, they're all gonna be, all the doors will,
Yep.
Our three main entries, yes.
Well, for public works, you don't know who goes in and who doesn't.
what about the wash bay? About that wash bay,
What do you mean? What do
you
you,
gonna be on a fob?
No,
The
none
main-
of the big doors
none
are
of the
all
big
little
doors.
doors.
You have to go through one of
Oh.
the 3 doors to get into the building.
You
can't go wash your truck.
Yeah, like that.
but if I'm poking. Yeah.
I'd rather I will.
Oh, so you can't see it.
and with them, the combination ones that we have now, in the wintertime, they freeze up any kind of ice, and then the firefighters and the ambulance have had issues getting inside the buildings. So unless you have a can of the ice or sitting out there at all times, it's become an issue too with them freezing up.
And the amount of codes that are out there that people.
Yeah,
use.
and then right now, anybody can give anybody their code and go in any building they want. At least this way, if you hand somebody your key fob, well, then we know it's on you, so.
But you know who's entering the building.
Yes.
And that'll be a system.
When they use the community center, keep the door unlocked.
Yes.
It's a-
Biggest problem out there.
Well-
Doors open.
We're gonna have to replace it.
And that's replacing.
No, no,
They
only
figured-
have to replace the door openers.
Right.
What he'll do is he'll put a switch on the door, on the inside, when you walk in on the side. So if somebody's renting it, you just throw that switch, it'll make the doors unlock,
There you go.
stay unlocked. When they leave, they'll may have to make sure it's locked.
We have somebody out there cleaning on the weekends usually, and so she can make sure it's off too.
Probably if the police department thinks about it, anytime they drive out there, just get out and just make sure it's locked.
Lock camera system, so there we can review them too.
Yeah.
Who's
I
getting
mean, if
shit.
somebody's renting it and they forget to lock
Yeah.
it, that's what I'm, the
Yeah.
only concern I have with it.
Need a motion?
Yep.
Make a motion.
I thought they were, had one, didn't they?
No. We got a second?
I do.
Trustee Barrett?
Yes.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Sokoviak?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Supposed to pass an ordinance.
We got two sevens here.
Yeah, we have to do that. We have to do.
Oh, already. So, we need a motion for a municipal court ordinance, which we're gonna be hosting court. April 19th will be the first
I like that.
night here, which would be the ordinance to accept us into the agreement. of municipal
No, second
court.
it.
Trustee Barrett?
Yes.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Sokoviak?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yeah.
Salt from, Morton Salt, 700 tons at 84.82.
Steel, get it.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Trustee
That's
Barrett?
cheaper than the
Yes.
state.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell?
Yes.
Trustee Sheets?
Yeah.
Trustee Sokovic?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yeah,
That is under state bid price.
okay, it's gonna get better.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna tell him no. Cause he paid for them classes and he
Did it
wasn't
say-
free, yeah. So. And Tip brought a good idea, let him use the stage.
I was gonna ask that about you.
Yeah, let him use the stage.
Oh, TJ, one thing about that, how are you doing on the salt?
400 tons out of the,
We got 400, we got 86 tons left out of the first 500,
How are you doing on storage?
running low. I don't think we'll make 700
You don't
tons.
think you're
No.
gonna be able to get 200 more?
no,
How about 100?
No. Well, if we get to, we got it, like I said, we got it 90 more tons to come and it'd be pretty well full. Unless we get, figure out some way to push it higher inside the
Take a
mission.
skid steer and take it up on top. You're ready to hear me laughing.
Take the man lift,
Order.
put somebody out there. Pour it down.
Down there, grab yourself in and go right up there.
oh, I built a ramp and started doing that, but after you get to a certain point, it's,
Basically with the wheel loader, it just digs in.
No, I said skid steer.
Skid steer to do it.
Well, you know what? Once the people at 314 Brentwood get evicted, we can clean it out and put it in there.
You put it in your house.
No, that's my house.
Seal the windows and fill the house. Yeah, chimney, right?
It's my house.
So buy it stockpile wherever we have a weed problem, we'll just park it. That
There
way
you
we don't have nothing to throw right now.
Don't let Joe hear that.
I said park it so you might run off. Put it on high ground so it goes down.
So we're in the municipal court, which I said the court date's the 19th. And Dave Westner is gonna be the part of the system. So I feel we need to hire Dave Westner for our corporate lawyer too. So we just have one lawyer division instead of have many. And the other lawyer systems kind of fell on us anyway, so we need a better municipal lawyer.
I'll make that motion. I know-
As need, business, as need.
As needed basis, yes.
He's done that for years.
I'll second it.
Plus he's a tip attorney too,
Trustee
Oh,
Barrett?
he's TIF attorney too?
yes.
What kind of cases are we gonna hear?
So we don't have
What kind of cases are we going? to
Municipal court cases,
Ordinances.
ordinance violations.
ordinance violations.
I can be your clerk.
Okay.
Come
on.
You know what? You'd probably be good.
But it's all ordinance cases from not just here, it's every town in southern Maine County.
Okay.
Westwood, Georgetown. Oakland.
And we get court costs and they get the fine money.
Oh.
So, you carry the system out.
We got our fine money, right?
Yes, we get our fine money plus the cities get their fine money, but we get their
Court
court
costs, the use
costs.
of the building.
Trustee Barrett?
Yes.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Sheets?
Yep.
Trustee Sokovic?
Yes.
Trustee Weir?
Yep.
You got anything? Billy,
Uh,
Bob?
No, just got, yeah, sorry, I already got on. Easter egg hunt. It's gonna be April 9th. Rain date will be the 16th. I think we're starting at noon. There's gonna be 4 age groups. We're talking to Scott about a good idea. We're gonna have under 1 age group. So that last year, you had a parent with a 3-month-old holding the kid, holding it. So we do the under 1, we can make up package for it. 1 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 10, and then the March 26th, we're gonna go out and get the prizes for it. April 1st, we're gonna fill Easter eggs, about 8,000.
You volunteers welcome.
So April 1st, it's a Friday night, we're going to the community center, fill Easter eggs, we did last year. You know, we filled about 8,000 last year, it took us about 2.5 hours, and that's even with having a pizza break, so we had a pretty good assembly line going.
It was fun too.
Yeah, everybody sit down tables, and I'm just, you know, any candy, whatever. We went and get the gifts on the 26th. I'll go out to Walmart, so they're gonna excise anything with them. They got one separate from the state.
We have one, I'll get you.
You got, okay. We're gonna meet down at the food, 9 o'clock, breakfast. Eat breakfast, and then whoever wants to go. Go out there, because I'll pick that stuff we did last year, and, we had one or two young ones with us, which actually helped, because we said, "Would you help pick some stuff out?" They were picking out stuff, it was like, kids like, so they were really well. Last year, we had probably 300 kids out there. I mean, it was pretty well packed.
Good turn.
Good turnout. I think the 16th, the only guy who's supposed to be out there. Tom Hammond's supposed to look at the schedule.
What day for the breakfast?
Walmart shells will probably go.
The,
Fire.
breakfast,
Yeah, they'll be donating everything.
March, Saturday, 26th.
That's a big fire. They said there was, what they say there was over 1,000.
Breakfast, yeah. Yep. Breakfast is, by your own, but when we do
Oh,
the.
yeah.
Stuff the egg, my pizzas.
I know.
So,
Right there by the airport, I've seen it.
What time for breakfast?
Yeah, the one time.
I think he said 9.
You wouldn't put the
9
Walmart,
o'clock.
waiting to get loaded.
if we know ahead of time, how many we're gonna have, we can so we get a
Probably do the whole Midwest.
Yeah, Bob, Burton,
Yeah, I would suggest that we, put the 3-cent gas tax back on the gas stations and a 2-cent on diesel. We got bridge to fix, we've got all these roads. We need the money. We made the agreement with Mach 1 for a year, and he guaranteed us that we'd make up the 3 cents, because we lost it in the other places as well, the other station. He said, "You'll make it up here." Well, that ain't, we ain't. He's made a ton of money on gambling, but I think we should.
well,
Put it
plus
back.
Casey's is still charging.
Casey's is still paying it. They never stop. They're still paying 5 cents.
Yeah, we tried to tell them.
But they're only, Mach 1 and Circle K is only paying 2 cents a gallon. I think we should bring it to 5.
Why did you drop it originally? I mean, was it?
Incentive to get him,
Overfunding?
incentive to get him to build.
Yeah.
Oh,
get Mach
incentive to
1.
get Mach 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We made an agreement with him.
They told us that he was gonna do $1 million a year in revenue, so we'd have, and they have not done that.
And if he didn't do $1 million, all bets were off, we go back to white line work.
Yeah, that was what Dave and I told him at that point. He wanted it down to a penny. He wanted us to drop 4 cents. We compromised at 2, but it's been nearly 2 years, ain't it, Tiff?
March 16th or March 13th is when they opened.
2 years ago.
March 13th,
Well, we
2020.
gave you code.
Well, he's had a year grace period over the agreement.
We gave him COVID relief for a year.
Yeah.
And everybody else in Danville's gas tax is higher than ours.
Yeah.
So,
So
I mean, it's
It
not
won't
driven
reflect
by-
on the customer anyway.
I want to make a motion that we
You can't do that.
put her back to as was,
You can't do
5
that.
cents.
You can't do that.
Huh?
Not until next
We
week.
can't do it till next
Right.
week, yeah.
It's
That's
on
right.
there.
We'll just have a discussion.
Just think about it, and we'll vote on it next
So we're
week.
gonna be specific on that, but if you say we're gonna raise it 5 cents, Casey might raise it another 5 cents.
We just want to send it to them because they haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll have,
What I'm saying is-
Tiff will have to talk to them and tell
What
them.
I'm saying is, they've already paid it, we're gonna.
You've told them 2 or 3 times, haven't
We
you?
called them 100 times to
It's
tell them.
already been,
Yeah, Lori
sent
sent a
an overnight
letter.
mail to 'em.
Yeah.
But if they're already paid it, we can't, we gotta.
They can't be in this, no.
Right.
no.
We gotta be site specific.
So it was.
Well, we can specifically say Circle K and, or say, you can't say they're exempt
No,
because they're
just
not.
say gas is exempt from Casey's because they're already paying it,
Yeah, you need to state
but
that
they
they,
still have to supply diesel.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Do they sell diesel there,
Yeah,
Casey?
yeah.
Do they?
Well, they still pay it.
Huh?
They still pay it.
I know it, but I mean, you'll have to be, or we'll, if it passes, we'll have to be specific,
Site specific.
about them already paying it, and this does not apply to them,
Right.
because they're already paying 5 cents.
You already,
Except for the diesel, they'll have to
Right.
pay the
Right.
diesel.
I'd say what we do find out what's been going on in Danville, they price it out down here for sure. And if they're priced the same as Danville.
Well, I think Danville's 6 or 7 cents a
7
gallon.
cents, I think, right now.
I think it is, yeah.
'Cause they go up a certain percentage.
Automatic,
every
I
year.
think.
We're getting half of what we used to get.
Well, yeah,
And that was really good for public works and
Roads.
the roads and.
Put it this
Yeah,
way,
we-
if we're driving cheap out here, we need to get our price
Anything else, Bruce?
No, and he has a, if you're paying any attention, nearly everybody's cheaper on gas than he is.
330, 435 right now, no food.
Yeah,
429 up north. Okay.
so
No.
think about it.
Judy?
I don't have-
We bid a project for G Street Bridge ramps approaches. And Poich was $557,344.40. AER was $677,180.09. Deuce was $549,280. And Midwest Asphalt was $518,488.04. But we're not taking any action till next month. For the G Street Bridge.
G Street Bridge, the
We
approaches.
pay with it for out of our funds?
No, we're paying without tip funds.
Just going to state that.
Yeah, so we got,
100,000.
he's in union anyway, so,
But it doesn't
And the
matter.
engineers had it at that.
yeah, engineers had the cost estimate of 518,000, so.
The engineer did, and that's what he bid?
Yeah, no, the engineer's cost was, they was approximate 518,000 estimate. So TJ bid
That's what he said. He's daggone near,
488 over 518, so,
pretty good.
yes,
Gotta make sure, just like this one up here, it needs to be sealed,
yes,
or you'll lose it again.
yeah,
God knows we need that.
yep, yes, it does.
Man, that thing.
Well, the thing is, though, if we don't keep sealing this one about every 2 years, they don't trim it.
We gotta do this year too. We gotta do this one this year again.
Oh, the Fifth Street, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Starks done it last time, remember?
Yeah.
When they done it. So on pay estimate, contract A and contract B, which is, B is Midwest Asphalt and A is Curry Construction, the sewer plant. They both had a pay estimate in, and we don't have any action, but I'm just informing you that until the money gets here from the EPA, then we'll pay them.
Oh, okay.
So it's a reimbursement project. So and also all the change orders we talked about, the EPA is funding it too.
The what?
The EPA funded the increased cost of all the pipe and everything at Midwest Asphalt.
They did?
Yes.
Oh, this went up so much?
Yep. So they agreed to pay the increased price. So
That's good.
What we gonna do that on operating?
we just did that. Where was you at? Oh. Oh, yeah, they're expired right now. He's gonna they're supposed to give a contract next month. So,
That's
for
what
1 year.
That's what I'm at now.
He already, Sean's getting a contract together for 1 year because it expired the first of the month.
You told me it expired.
Yeah. So 1 year at a time until the plant gets operated. That's what he's saying. So time we get Tim down
What
here.
are we paying him, 95?
8 cents.
How much we paying him? 85 or 95? URH.
96.
96. Well, I was off a grand.
$8,000 a month. But they just sent it to bill for $82.50.
So that's probably what.
So they raised it on their own.
That's what the new contract probably gonna read.
See, that's the reason we decided.
Yeah, it'll be, the new contract will be 9,
So now
probably,
it's 98,
It'll be-
275.
or 10.
It'll be 20 when you get that plan.
98,
I guarantee you that.
5.
Anybody else have anything?
I make the motion to adjourn.
Who's that guy in that hat over there?
Tell me where the key.
I'll second.
He's undercover.
A second,
Trustee Barrett,
yes.
Trustee
Easter egg under that.
Finley,
Yes.
trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Sokoviac,
Yes.
trustee Weir.
And the guy who didn't give us a phone number to call him on.